we were flying as a number 3 in a cell of 3 B-52s. The missions out of Thailand were about 4 to 4.5 hours long, typically somewhere in northern South Vietnam, around the demilitarized zone, in interdiction of the Ho Chi Minh Trail through northern South Vietnam, Cambodia, and southern Laos. And the first mission, we were back in trail, and as we approached the target, we had taken what we call the altitude hole. We'd taken the altitude correction out of the airplane, out of the radar system, so that we could identify the other 2 airplanes in front of us. Excuse me, and do what we call station keeping, where the bombardier would place crosshairs on the lead airplane, and then we would, as the number 2 airplane, would be about a mile back and 500 feet to the left, and number 3 would be a couple miles back and 500 feet to the right of center. And as we were approaching the target, there was some interference, looked like cotton, coming across that altitude hole. So, and I had never seen anything like that, so I asked the bombardier what that was. He said, well, that's probably a cloud. And the problem with that was that we were flying across the top of a thunderstorm buildup. And as we dropped our bombs in the southwest corner of the demilitarized zone, we were making a right-hand turn back into South Vietnam. And we were 1,000 feet higher than lead. And what happened was, when we rolled into the turn, we had been flying through supercooled, wet air. When we rolled into the turn, that moisture on the wings froze, and froze the ailerons into deflection. So the pilot couldn't roll us out. And so the airplane got up to about a 90-degree bank turn. A steep turn in a B-52 was anything over 30 degrees. And so we got up to almost 90 degrees, and the airplane's not intended to roll over like a fighter. And finally the ailerons broke out, and when it did, we also aerodynamically stalled, and fell about 2,000 feet before wings started to come level. That was my very first combat mission. Not a kind of an anxious start to my combat career.